already know. I'm gonna get a text message. Somebody gonna say something.
Nah, ain't nobody gonna say shit. We good.
Who wants some?
What?
Who wants
Oh,
some?
no, Robin, no fighting. You don't get to fight. Robin said, "Who we gotta smoke?" The rah rah report. That's what it is. Yo, 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 yo. Brother Zigzag is in the building. Let's get it right. Damn you.
For 7th Avenue, with stop traffic from Fullerton Road over 55 minutes. Also from Fairway on Pomona's 60 East after Phillips Ranch Road, stop traffic is over 55 minutes as 2 left lanes are blocked with an accident. In West LA, a stall from Washington Culver Boulevard split is causing a 15-minute delay on 405 North after the 10, blocking the 7 lane. Stall is also being cleared from Hacienda Heights, 60 East after Hacienda Boulevard.
Rain down on me.
September 15th to 21st is Asthma Peak Week, with the highest concentration of asthma flare-ups and hospitalizations. To become a more active participant in your care, visit luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
Beloved Entertainment and the Miracle Theater Foundation presents Sweet Spot live with KBLA's own Angelique Francis, Sunday, November 17th. Angelique is live on stage featuring storytellers from the community, colorful and provocative, for us and by us, celebrating our strength and our fire. Come hang out with us as we walk through our neighborhoods, even down our dark alleys, because just around the corner, there's laughter, misplaced miracles, unspeakable pain, and yes, forgiveness. It's all happening Sunday, November 17th, 4 p.m. at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood, 226 South Market Street. Last year, audiences raved. Best show in decades. An unforgettable night. Groundbreaking. Sweet Spot Live was thought-provoking and enlightening. Standing ovations begging for more. Please, more. It was a great night. So back by popular demand, this Sweet Spot Live with Angelique Francis. Get your tickets right now at themiracleinglewood.com. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you in the Sweet Spot.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane. Got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Sacrifice to the point of it, you and I do.
Have you heard the saying, hurt people hurt people? And you know what else is true? Hurt people often hurt the ones they love. As a pediatrician, I've seen children hurt in so many different ways by the adults who love and care for them. That's why I'm always talking to caregivers about ways to prevent childhood trauma. In my clinical practice, I screen for ACEs, or adverse childhood experiences, and I provide trauma-sensitive care. I also joined an amazing group called Creating a Resilient Community Network in Central Florida to help prevent and heal our community of trauma. As a facilitator, I give workshops on ACEs, resilience, and healing, and I even dedicated a chapter in my new positive parenting book, High Five Discipline, to raising awareness about ACEs and to ensure the way parents discipline is not a source of trauma for their kids. Now, when I encounter children who experience trauma and explore their family dynamics, I often see generations of adversity. Like Brian and his little sister Sarah, at such a young age, they had already experienced their mother battling drug addiction, being in and out of foster care, and was now living with their maternal grandmother, who had her own share of past trauma. She strongly believed that what the kids needed when they were misbehaving was old school discipline. You know, spanking, yelling, and shaming. But nothing she did improved their behavior. Brian was in elementary school and already getting into fights, labeled hyperactive and disruptive in the classroom, and Grandma said he was a terror at home. In one particular incident, he almost set the house on fire. And Sarah...
Wait a minute. Wait. Pause that. How did they get my autobiography? That's like my story. What, in and out of foster care? Fighting? Big Mama said this boy is a terror. Whoa. Whoa. As I'm listening to this piece, and I'm going to go back to it because it's important. Society creates go-getters, right? See, society, puts go-getters on a pedestal, right? People get out there, go get it, right? But to be a go-getter, in many cases, we're not really good listeners. We're not very empathetic. It's dog eat dog. That's the world we live in. So to expect a go-getter or someone who is relationally ambitious, someone who is financially ambitious, right? They can't turn that spirit off. And if you're not playing the tune that they want to dance to, you really have no value to them. And I'm just listening to the type of society in which we live in, and watch how I tie it back to today's topic. Go ahead and finish the rest of that clip.
Incident, he almost set the house on fire. And Sarah, she had global developmental delays and behavior problems as well. She was 5, but behaved more like a 2-year-old. Right before my eyes, she babbled, whined, and hit to communicate her frustrations. And Grandma just hit her back on the bottom, not making the connection that what Sarah truly needed was love, patience, and guidance. You see, Brian and Sarah's story...
Pause it one more time. I even had an ex tell me, your mama should have whooped you more. And just listening to the clip is all coming back. I'm triggered right now. I had an ex tell me, like, your mother should have whooped you more. What? Clearly that doesn't work. The clinician just explained what works. And the sad part is, as an adult, you go out into intimate relationships looking for what the clinician said you need. But not even the clinician will tell you what you need can be found within you. Play it one more time.
And passed down through generations. Hurt people, hurt people. So I would like to talk to you today about how the 3 R's, recognize, build resilience, and restore, can help break the cycle of generational trauma. So we can start by asking what happened to Brian and Sarah before they started acting out. So imagine with me just for a moment what had gone on in the midst of all of these traumatic experiences at a microscopic level. Well, their little bodies experienced prolonged, repeated trauma with very little nurturing and protective caregiving. And the science of childhood trauma tells us this created toxic stress, elevating the body.
Okay, I can't listen anymore. I'm about to break down. Because we can find empathy for their little bodies, right? The word she chose paints a beautiful and poignant and tragic picture, right? Their little bodies, but not his adult body. See, men who have gone through what is being described here, listen, let's keep it a buck, right? There is no empathy, sympathy, or care, or concern, or consideration for a man, right? Who has been broken. It's like, figure it out. You ain't got time to cry. You got to carry everybody. That's how we look at manhood, right? You ain't got time for what's wrong with you. The sisters have the sister circles. The sisters are lighting candles and setting intentions and wearing all white and going to the beach and can we be real? Where do the brothers go? They be in the cigar lounge with Zoe. Zoe, I need a little bit of your time. Brother, I don't normally share things like this and whatnot. But I've been told that you are one with a kind and patient ear. Brother, can I bend your lobe for a moment? I get the influx of that. But the reality of it is, brothers need brotherhood circles where we can facilitate growth and healing. This is important. Here's the definition. Intergenerational trauma is the passing of trauma from one generation to the next, right? It can also be called transgenerational or multi-generational trauma. You got personal trauma, such as abuse, neglect, and other adverse childhood experiences, which makes up the ACEs chart there. Then you have historical trauma, trauma that affects a specific cultural, racial, or ethnic group. And then you have natural trauma or natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes, or pandemics. Why is this important? Because we've been taken in this society. We have been taken by social media. And one of the most successful aspects of social media is the area called the IG model. That is now a profession. Did you know an IG model with enough followers, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million, can now get a modeling gig from the biggest and baddest modeling agencies in the world based on their numbers? And it's not just modeling. Social media has changed the music industry. Did you know if you have 4 or 5 million followers in your social media network, You could get a record deal with no talent. You don't have to sing, rap, dance. All you got to do is act crazy, and they put it to some music. They'll go, they're nominated for 12 Grammys. I'm being facetious but truthful. Social media has impacted us in such a profound way. So I thought about it today. We are all IG models. We model what comes from our childhood. We modeled our parents. We modeled our environment in childhood. We modeled intergenerational trauma. That makes us IG models, right? And tonight's topic, how do we break the mold, right? How do we break the model that was cast, right? A deeper look at anti-modeling, dissecting and dismantling transgenerational or intergenerational patterns in relationships and the discontinuation of broken cycles. The term anti-modeling has been coined by Steph Anya, LMFT, on her YouTube channel. Go check her out. In a recent video discussing the dynamics between two Love is Blind contestants, right? Love is Blind is probably her television show, right? Steph dissects how generational trauma, right, intergenerational trauma impacted her relationship and the ultimate choice to not marry at the conclusion of the show. So how does this concept of anti-modeling work in real life? Anti-modeling is the act of choosing not to model what you witnessed in childhood. It is similar to what psychology refers to as de-identification. De-identification is the process by which an individual learns how to identify themselves apart from their family structure, most notably found in sibling relationships. Establishing an identity independent of family origin is important for healthy relationships to flourish in adulthood, but also so that transgenerational patterns or intergenerational patterns can be dismantled. You're an IG model. Intergenerational trauma, you're an IG model. You modeled dysfunction in your home as a child. You were raised by somebody who was broken internally. Most of us have. You were raised by them. So what you were raised by molded you into what they were or weren't. One of my favorite lines from the Marvel universe, it's in the Incredible Hulk, the Ed Norton version of it, when the general is saying, Banner didn't know what he was working on. He experimented on himself. And something either went really wrong or really right. Yeah. We go wrong when we don't seek to find out who we are independent of where we came from. That's where we go wrong. Your family's truth doesn't have to be your truth. Uh-oh. Woo, here we go. When I come forward, I've got questions and I've already got callers. Tell me if you're fighting with your familial narrative. You want to break up with them? Let me know. Call us 1-800-920-1580. Such a good topic. Hey, call me. Y'all get in here. And no cursing. No cursing. Hustle habit. Get in here early, bro. The other day you was cooking, man, and I needed you in here early to cook. Get in here. Y'all want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Oh, we gonna win. If we tied and it's 5, oh, we winning. All right, it's over. No, I thought they were just gonna run away with it. If we tied, oh, it's over. That's not our show. It's fine. I don't know if people are. I don't even really think people give a fuck, really, to be honest. Listen, anti modeling or de identification. If you read The Shrouded Lighthouse, well, you probably didn't because most of our people don't support a motherfucker like me because the system that is, or the system that be, the powers that be, they don't say, go fuck with Zoe Williams. You need white folk to come in and say, go fuck with Zoe Williams, like really fuck with him, right? Huh. In my book, I talk about something called, based on Joseph Campbell, right? The what is it? The hero's journey. I call it the relationships hero's journey. Being able to go back transformed. That's de-identification. That's anti-modeling. That's using your mentor as a mirror to undo your ordinary. Oh, then I tie in Krishnamurti. Freedom from the known. What is your known? If everybody is toxic and broken, i.e., a human, oh, Zoe said the most important breakup you'll ever have is that with your family, those you modeled. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Schwank gang 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 gang. Schwank gang 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 gang.
Everybody, and welcome to this video on how childhood trauma impacts adult health and behavior. I'm your host, Dr. Donnelly Snipes. We've talked about trauma a lot in other videos, so I'm not going to do a deep dive here. But just to kind of sum it up, trauma can be intentional or unintentional. Intentional trauma is when somebody says, I'm going to hurt you in some way. Unintentional trauma can be when they do it and they don't mean to, or they aren't able to actually meet the child's needs, so the child feels insecure, unsafe, and disempowered. So trauma can include physical trauma, like physical pain or not getting their physical needs met. And that can be in the form of abuse or neglect. The caregiver who is too depressed to get up and go shopping and make dinner, or the caregiver who is too intoxicated to do those things. You know, that's more unintentional. They're not intending to hurt the child, but they can't get out of their own way in order to attend to the child. Emotional abuse is pretty self-explanatory, but then there's emotional neglect, and that happens when the child's emotional needs are not met. They are not provided tools to learn to identify, regulate, manage, and cope with the feelings that they have. We're not born with emotional intelligence. Cognitive trauma can happen as a result of gaslighting, or if the child is going through parental alienation, where they're constantly being told negative, scary things. Environmental trauma can happen when the child suddenly loses their home.
Listen, I know we use a lot of examples: narcissism, attachment wounds, spiritual examples. I know. I know sometimes it could be a little bit overwhelming. But what you need to realize is not everyone is a narcissist. Just like narcissism is on a spectrum, so is every other form of dysfunction. It's all on a spectrum. So you know how you talk to certain people, that didn't happen to me. I didn't grow up like that. And maybe you had a more subtle form of dysfunction that you grew up in, and this person's dysfunction was more pronounced, or maybe even more impactful. Maybe yours was less impactful, but I guarantee you nobody was raised in a zero dysfunctional household. I guarantee it. Back to the work of Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti believed that it was psychological knowledge that was the problem with humanity. It says psychological knowledge, in other words, what happened to us, our story, who is the villain in the story. That is something many of us, most of us, can't get over. So you even see psychologists today telling you, hey, warning you about your story. Be careful of what you say or what role you cast yourself in. Negative self-talk, right? Right? This is big things here. Nazarene X pulled up the etymological root of the word trauma, the sense in psychology of a psychic wound. Krishnamurti, psychological knowledge is the issue. You can't get over hurts. Listen, human beings are, and our brain and our central nervous, it's an association making machine. If we associate toxicity, regardless of the intensity of it, if we associate that as our normal, this is our norm. This is what's normal to me. So psychological abuse, pattern of bullying in the crib, gaslighting in the crib, toxic communication in the crib, criticism, sarcasm, insults, manipulative tactics, right? Walking on eggshells. If you got used to any of this, you're taking it to your intimate relationships, controlling behavior, lack of trust, right? Isolation, right? And of course, we get caught up on the terms, but I'm telling you, all of this stuff is on a spectrum. So while it is on a spectrum, guess what? Some of it seeped into your soul, and it needs to come to the surface for proper management. I know people want to say reconciliation, but proper management. When I come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. What did you model? What did you pattern? You're an IG model, an intergenerational model. Let's go. In our life. All right, y'all. Listen, don't be afraid to support this channel. Somebody gave us $5 on the super chat. I don't know who that was. Let me scroll back up to see. Big Pound Music. Thank you. We appreciate it. Listen, if you want to support the show, all you got to do, what up, Suge Mac 510? Always a pleasure to have you in here, brother. I hope you're enjoying the show. Please subscribe. YouTube been on my ass for a long time, and we ain't a reckless channel. I can see if the content here was reckless. This is not really a reckless channel. Well, maybe Monday's show might be reckless, right? I don't know what the holdup is. 74.2 thousand subscribers, and we can only muster up 50, 60, 70 people. It's kind of goofy. Even when I bring on big names, right? Even when I bring on big names, there is a suppressant on this channel. And don't get it twisted, they suppress channels. Don't get it twisted. They said the people have been telling me for years, I haven't gotten your notifications. So when you get in here, we need your help. You got to like it, and you got to share it, and you got to subscribe. If you got to unsubscribe and resubscribe, do that, because, people are not getting notifications, and it's just really goofy. All right. But if you're enjoying it, please go to my super chat, the little $ down at the bottom of the chat. Give what you can to support the channel, or you can hit me directly on my Cash App, which is $ZoWhatNetter. I want to thank Nzinga for posting that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But now the next step in supporting is joining the discussion, right? Join the discussion. Let's talk. Let's discuss. Okay? Let's discuss. And did you know? I don't know what happened. I'm going to find out. Did you know they did not upload the Burning Bush episode on Apple Podcasts? Did you know that? It's not up there. It's not up there. Yo, we got 2 minutes. Ryan does. Or D's. Let's see. Your channel doesn't spread slander, gossip, or speak derogatory about others. It doesn't. Why would the powers that be that control the airwaves help you? First off, I'm a mess, I guess. Maybe I'm a mess. Yeah, I'm a mess. It's good information, though. Schwank, gang, 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 Schwank, gang, 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 gang. Shepherd _ Shepherd. Zoe Big Dog. What up? The masses want what they want. Many are called. Nick Love. What up? What up? What up, family? I thought it was frozen. Where my brother Reggie? Reggie, get in here, Rev. I will, May.
Sometimes the person who is sabotaging your happiness in relationships is not your ex, not your parents, not the people out there who put you down. Sometimes the person sabotaging you is you. And the problem with growing up with neglect and abuse is that it can drive your thinking, it can constrict what you believe is possible for your life, and it can make you see only the worst, only what is ugly. Now, these are what I call trauma-driven beliefs. And you might be holding on to them because you think that they'll protect you. But what they really do is keep you isolated. They lead you away from the good choices and the positive changes and the healthy people who are capable of love. These are the ones you need in your life, right? If you're ever going to overcome what happened to you in the past. Now, it's true that the part of us that's designed to detect good people and to feel love and receive love can get so damaged by early trauma. And the more trauma happens, the greater the risk that we'll get kind of stuck in the pattern, falling only for unavailable people or for people who hurt us, or getting so lost in fantasy that we miss out on any kind of real fulfillment from dealing with real people. But the good news is, healing from past trauma has the potential to completely change the course of your life. And you might be really discouraged about that right now, and you just think, yeah, everybody says that, but how do you actually do that? But I'm here to give you real hope. There really are ways to start healing the wounds of the past, now that we know what their nature is. And if you aren't familiar with my work,
Healing is really just non-judgmental acceptance. I'm gonna give you the cliff notes. Accept everything that happened. Don't blame yourself. Don't condemn yourself for being a victim. Don't condemn or blame yourself for creating a coping mechanism that kept those wounds alive. Healing. See, people they will sell you a $10,000 webinar. I'm going to show you in 10 discrete, easy steps. No, it's non-judgmental acceptance, right? And then guess what? You can add, unconditional forgiveness for yourself and others. See, and it sounds simple, but the work to live in a space where you're looking at what disgusts you about you. You're looking at these wounds. You're looking at, what modeled you, or what you modeled as normal. Let's do it that way. You're looking at that, and like, wow, I picked up some really cold stuff from my people, right? How I was raised. Have you noticed? Isn't this why we're so hard on the mother that was unavailable? Isn't this why we'll condemn the father that wasn't available? Because part of us, that's easier to condemn than the part of them that we modeled. I done met so many people that act and move just like the person who hurt them. Ugh. What are some reasons we choose to model or reject what we know? What are some psychological and spiritual indicators that you have overcome a transgenerational pattern, i.e., ended a cycle? In what ways does anti-modeling challenge the traditional understanding of familial loyalty? And how can this be reconciled, right, with the need for personal? Listen, Joe Jackson, we just played 2300 Jackson Street. You know what Joe Jackson said about Michael Jackson accusing him of whooping him all the time? Well, I guess I must have whooped him all the way to the bank. Look at him. It's not funny, right? Listen, just because you're successful in the world, remember, the world in and of itself, the world in which we live, is toxic. The Buddhists called this world an illusion. Jesus backed it up, right? This is an illusion. And the Bible even tells you who runs this world. So many times we'll look at success in the world as if it is success in the spirit. Relationships are spiritual. Sex is spiritual. You're exchanging more than just fluids, right? It's all a spiritual act. Wounds, right? Psychic wounds. They're in your spirit. This happened to me when I was a child. You model it, it becomes your norm, and then it becomes the co-author of your relationship expectations. You want to be real about it? What psychological mechanisms underpin the decision to either replicate or reject familial patterns in adult relationships? If you can't break up with your mama's beliefs, you're not going to be able to break up with this guy. Wait, yes, I can. I could just easily leave him. We live in a culture in the time that says breaking up with somebody is an empowerment move. I leveled up when I left you. How you level up and you got the same kind of dude with the same lesson? Different dude. All you did was recast the role. His script is still the same. You still attracted to the script. See, you think because you can swap out actors, you can swap out scripts. That's what a pattern is, baby. It's a script. You got a dysfunctional script running in your spirit, and it don't matter how many actors you swap in and swap out. Listen, when I come forward, I'm going to talk to Attila. Oh, Lord, I'm going to talk to Attila. When we come forward, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get it. The source code gonna stay solid regardless. True Monger said, you heard me. Is Let Me Cook a record now? Because I'm hearing it everywhere. Who did the record? I'm hearing people say, let me cook, let me cook. Who did the record? And it's a lot of lurkers in here. Like, don't lurk, call. Don't lurk. Call up. Dead ass. Call in. T Hugs. Oh, been a minute for me, but glad to see you still dropping out. Man, I ain't went nowhere. Literally nowhere. T Hugs is an example of how YouTube suppresses the views, right? Hell, it's my channel, and sometimes I can't even find the live feed. I did the So What show on Monday, and Attila had to text me the live feed because it wasn't where it normally is. So I'm like, again, like suppression. What up, Neek is the night. Everybody hit the like button, 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 hit the like. What up, Houston, Texas? Austin, Texas? Dallas, Texas? I know y'all up in here. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's goofy. Like, they be blocking for show. 30 seconds. Are y'all gonna call? I need y'all to call in. Put the number in the chat. And I did hear from the sister from Detroit. I emailed her, and I did hear from her. She's okay. What up, Mimi? I don't know.
About generations of trauma with no intervention. Based on what I know about sugar plantations, tobacco, the Caribbean, what I know about American chattel slavery and the plantations there, does anyone right now ever recall mental health assistance to slaves? Anybody remember sending in the therapist after I sold off your son, daughter, raped folks? At any point? Never. Second question. After slavery was officially over, now you're free. Anybody remember any therapy then? We know it's been rough, it's been deep for you, it's been difficult, we're going to do a little group therapy. We're talking.
Man, that's Dr. Joy DeGruy. Dorsey High alum. Don't listen. And I know, oh, slavery is 150 years ago. Trauma, etymologically speaking, is wound. Psychic wound. There's something in your psyche. You have a wounded psyche. You can't have it both ways. We're going to talk about attachment theory. John Bowlby out of out of the UK. We're going to talk about Mary Ainsworth and attachment theory and the evolution of the different insecure attachment styles. We're going to talk about everything coming from early childhood. But if your genes are traumatized, listen, slavery, black laws, terrorism from the KKK when it was created to keep the black vote away. Y'all remember that? Jim Crow, right? Discrimination, redlining, all that stuff created Joe Jackson. Yeah, Joe was abusive. Joe was this. He's old school. You know how we'll justify what Joe was. You hear based on that clip earlier, right? We'll justify it, right? Well, Joe is old school, yeah. But a lot of his discipline, where did it come from? Let's be honest. I came from a mama who might whoop you out of the frustrations of the world. I had a grandfather who whooped me out of the frustration that he carried psychically. So you understand? This isn't to condemn or say people were wrong for how they listen, you get whatever tools you get at the time. But you are modeling this, man, woman, you're modeling this. You're carrying it into your adult relationships. These are the rules they said, right? So if you're dealing with a group of people that were freed from slavery in 1863, few people didn't find out until a few years later, Juneteenth. Shout out to KBLA birthday. But if you're dealing with people that have all of that trauma sitting in their spirit, what do you think that the status of their relationship is going to be like? Doesn't it make sense when you say, oh, black men and women, we have a high divorce rate? Of course we do. Why wouldn't we? How does trauma bonding, as discussed by Patrick Carnes, influence the inclination to perpetuate or disrupt generational patterns? Your trauma look like my trauma. Your trauma is familiar. Your trauma is family. My trauma is family. Let's get together and have a baby. We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here right now. Attila from Houston, Texas. It's your time to shine. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
It's a good topic, ain't it?
Yeah. This is your topic, Attila.
So I was reflecting on some things when I was thinking about the chat, and I made a comment. It was when you were talking about families and essentially the dysfunction that we inherit from them, right? And I was saying that the breakup is the de-identification.
That's right.
So it's the splitting away from the family system, from the toxic habits, from those things that are normalized to you. That is the de-identification. You are no longer identifying with what has been your norm, and you are deciding to take a different route. So the reason why that show Love is Blind was so pivotal to me, and watching that therapist kind of dissect it, was because she was talking about two black contestants on the show, and it shows the guy basically going through this process with his family. His father had taken him with him on his adventures to cheat on his mom. So you can imagine what that looked like when it comes time to him to now possibly propose to this woman. And he literally says in the show, she is the love of my life. She is my best friend.
Right.
He uses the same verbiage with his parents. So I just thought that was so interesting, because the way that we contextualize the love of my life, the better half, in a horrible dynamic is wild to me. And so I was just like, man, I gotta write a topic on this. Like, what is it like to reject the modeling that's been given to you? What does that look like? And how does that out picture in your romantic relationships?
My God, you'd be free. So it's a different type of slavery you're outlining here. You're a slave to your norm. And if your norm is toxic, that is where you are most comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Toxicity, I'm going to take it a different way. We'll say frequencies. I'm trying to get away from this polarity of words, right, of norms.
Mm-hmm.
Frequencies are going to seek their own frequency. If you will, water seeks its own level.
Vibrations.
If someone's in a lower vibration,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to go around those who also have that same vibration. And so I think when we speak about people leaving dynamics and whether or not they're happy after the fact and da-da-da-da, none of that really matters. I think the question is, are they at peace with their vibration that they hold?
No, they're not at peace. It's a conflictual experience, as many of us know. We know it's not good for us spiritually, but it's all we know, and it makes sense to us, so we're okay sitting in it.
That part.
Do you see? So now you got to ask the question. If a portion of our generational curses came from massa, right, all the way up till today, are our unhealed wounds doing the bidding of massa?
Absolutely.
This is...
I mean, I think when you're talking about shadow work, this is why, when we're talking about doing the healing portion, it's so important to come correct in our language. And like you said, to not judge prematurely, to have more of an objective view of ourselves and other people, for the simple fact that you can prematurely stunt your own growth by trying to meet a certain target, trying to meet a certain arrival point, and thinking that this person, this thing, this ideology, this place is going to give that to you, when all of that is internal.
Wow.
So yeah, that's all I'd say.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Come on, Attila. Guess what you just did?
How about Houston in the building?
Houston, Texas is in the building. LA, where you at? Don't get down. The Dodgers still might pull it out. Where you at? The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Let me tell you why I said your unhealed wounds serve as a type of slave master. Because guess what? The slave master was an authority. If you go back to history, in history, especially American history, there was a time where they had something called paternalism, where the white property owner, slave owner, and husband was the father of all that was his, even the slaves, right? He was the authority. But Krishnamurti has some pointed words against authority. If your unhealed wounds are the authority of your life, if your unhealed wounds dictate the patterns you walk in life, the patterns you repeat in life, if your unhealed wounds has a say in who you date next, you are under its authority. When I come forward, we got more callers because they have a lot to talk about. Huh. Hustle! We got my brother Hustle on the line. Huh. .305, definitely about to cook. I think I might have listened wrong. What are you listening wrong to? What am I missing? What are you missing? It's not Louisville, it's Louisville. Louisville. Jaywalking legal in New York? Do you know how many people gonna die? people will die if jaywalking is legal in New York. Like, if they make, oh my God, that's crazy. Legal jaywalking?
If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff? The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
Oh, is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I don't think the kids is interested in war there.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy.
What up?
Betrayal has been committed. I hit you with a bad touch routine. How does he maintain his pomposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you rate women so well?
So Williams. Reason and accountability. The voice of reason.
So let's talk a little bit about, get clear about what is intergenerational trauma.
You know, intergenerational trauma is actually the only trauma that makes its way down a family line. It's passed down. And the ways that it happens is at the intersection of our biology, meaning our genetics and our genetic encoding, and ways that we kind of inherit biological data or genetic data from our parents that is reflective of their environmental stressors, the stress and the trauma that they went through. And the psychology of it all is everything that happens after we're born. So if we're born into a home where, you know, the cues to attune and to care and to nurture us weren't there, and that emotional foundation was not established to the extent that we needed, that already creates an initial fracturing. And then all of the rest of life comes in, right? We may go into the school system where things are tough or move around a lot, or maybe we get bullied, and maybe, you know, our first relationship's pretty traumatic, and then we transition into, you know, a toxic relationship because that's probably what we saw growing up, and all of life then hits us, right? We already have this genetic predisposition, or like one might say, like just an emotional vulnerability. Maybe we might be more tender. And then we have all of these things in life that then kind of like poke at us and make it so that the trauma surfaces in our life. We get those trauma responses, which then makes the trauma intergenerational, given that our parents and us were trauma sufferers.
Yeah, and it's like the thing with unresolved or untreated trauma, we'll say, or trauma that you haven't looked at, is that then now it's very hard to know when, you know, people talk a lot about being triggered, and we're also going to talk about that, but it's hard to make the distinction between, am I reacting to this person because of what they're doing actually? And maybe I am, but maybe I'm having an amplified response to this person because they remind me of someone who was unsafe, or someone who harmed me, or a punitive parent, or whatever it is. And I think that that's probably one of the most, it's so confusing, like for therapy clients, where they're like, no, but my feelings are real. I'm like, of course your feelings are real. But we have to be able to look at are they amplified? Because this is some kind of a repeating reality, right?
And what that amplification, I love the word amplified, what that amplification is basically telling us, what's the data? Even in my book, I actually invite people to almost kind of take a little bit of a pause, maybe a little distance from the data collection process that they're engaging in when they're mapping out their family tree, when they're, engaging in the intergenerational trauma healing assessment that I have in the book, the intergenerational ACEs questionnaire that I also reflect in there. And all of this is a data collection process. So you almost kind of have to zoom out, basically, right? Like just zoom out of the full process that you've now been engaging in to really take a full look at everything that you've gathered so far and offer yourself an opportunity to reflect on where are the sources of amplification, where are the triggers, if you may, and how have those been reflected down my family line for generations and
Are your unhealed wounds amplifying your reaction to the external trigger that is your partner? Listen, I've been here for 2 years. You might just be getting comfortable with some of the concepts, but there they are. What did I say? I said your partner can only be the question. They can never be the answer. Your answer is in you. You might have buried it. Or psychologically speaking, you may have repressed or suppressed what you know to be true about yourself, what you are fearful of embracing in love about yourself, right? I've been saying, I said, your significant other can only mirror the work you need to do, the work you have done, or the work you just refuse to do. Like the partner mirrors where you are consciously, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally. They mirror your current state of development. You guys remember I came in here, I was all hyped up and I said, man, we live in a I deserve culture. You do not deserve your ideal until your ideal becomes real within you. Then you don't need it externally. Then you become a true beacon, not a seeking. Somebody that's out here seeking something. Just show up. God, deliver what I need. I've been praying. You want to be a beacon instead of a seeking. Oh my God. A core aspect of anti-modeling lies in addressing attachment wounds linked to insecure attachment styles, often a result of inconsistent, neglectful, or traumatic family dynamics. Psychologists like Patrick Carnes, who created trauma bonding, right, has extensively studied trauma bonding, illustrating how individuals unconsciously gravitate towards unhealthy relationships that mirror familiar, albeit painful, past experiences. Whatever is familiar, even if it hurts, reminds you of home. These attachment wounds manifest as relational insecurities, anxieties, or avoidant tendencies that influence adult interactions. To break generational patterns, individuals must confront these ingrained dynamics by examining the relationship mirror theory of Krishnamurti, Jiddu Krishnamurti, not Iyanla Van Zant. No disrespect to my sister. I love her. I want her on the show. But I want to give praise and credit to the dude that highlighted this first. Born in 1895 or something. Died in 1986. Right? Who posits that relationships act as reflections of our internal selves, revealing unresolved traumas and needs. Right? Here, clinical insights are essential. Therapists and researchers emphasize the importance of couples therapy and trauma-informed counseling in unraveling these inherited patterns. By recognizing how past relational models shape present day interactions, individuals can begin to alter deeply rooted habits, right? The work of Babette Rothschild and Eric Fromm further underscores the necessity of emotional resilience and self-awareness in interrupting harmful yet not familiar is Freudian slip, harmful patterns, equipping the individuals with the tools for lasting relational change. See, for many of us, the toxicity that we came from is that warm Linus blanket. It might be toxic, but it reminds us what do they call it? Comfort food. It's like toxic comfort food for the soul. The patterns you modeled in childhood. Listen, I'm trying to get you to break those patterns. They are an authority in your life. If you are not the authority of you and your wounds are, how are you going to show up for somebody? How are you going to inspire? How are you going to live a life that can serve as the wellspring of inspiration for those you come in contact with? How are you going to be able to do that? Right? Krishnamurti, to be free of all authority of your own and that of another is to die to everything of yesterday, so that the mind is always fresh, always young, innocent, full of vigor and passion. It is only in that state that one learns and observes. And for this, a great deal of awareness is required, actual awareness of what is going on inside yourself without correcting it or telling it what it should or should not be. Because the moment you correct it, you have established another authority, a censor. Do you see? Man, we got callers on the line. Let me get my brother in here. Hustle. My brother Hustle from Miami, Florida is on the line. Hustle, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
What's up, brothers? How you doing?
Man, I'm alive and well, brother. How you?
I'm doing pretty well, man. So, where I'm going with this is... Damn, I lost it. All right. Anyway, there's a Stoic saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
A ship without a destination, no wind is favorable.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I believe that a lot of the decisions we make, choices, is what creates our reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, the greatest gift God given us is choice.
Free will. I'm rocking with you. Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about relationship-wise, if a woman is like the wind and the man's like the ship, the rudder, controlling the sails, keeping an eye on destination,
Mm-hmm.
we have to be able to use each other for what we were put here for. We have to be able to look at each other, because here's the thing, and I'll bring it back to the IG topic.
Yeah, because I was like, this is good, but where we at? Come on, Hustle, bring it home. Let me see what we cooking with. Let's go.
It's a slight rebuttal to what Arthur was saying about destination. I do believe destination is important. You should have a point of reference. Now, here's the thing about the IG thing. They are where they need to be. Their wind is blowing the direction it needs to blow. It's to help us. It's to help us learn how to guide ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like relationship isn't just one-on-one. Relationship is one amongst all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. I hear you. But we're getting into something really big right here. This is why I love it when the brother calls, because his comments elicit thought. Pontification. Let me just say, we got to stop thinking with a societal mind when dealing with relationships. And I'm going to tell you why. Right? Business is business, okay? Being in a relationship, there's a business side. All right? Cool. I understand that. But we got to stop thinking with a societal mind for relationships. And I'm going to tell you why. Because relationships are inherently spiritual. Hell, psychology started off spiritual. Right? Psychology is born out of philosophy. Philios, the love of wisdom. That's philosophy. Psychology, right? The study of the soul, which later turned into mental patterns and behaviors. But when we start to break all of this stuff down, relationship at its core is spiritual. And what happens is we get caught in social game rules, right? Oh, a man supposed to do this, a man supposed to do that. This is those same social game rules, and on top of whatever he went through as a kid, ruined Nick Cannon's relationship with Mariah Carey. Let's keep it a buck. Is that not what happened?
Was it supposed to happen?
Listen, supposed to, all of that doesn't matter. The point is, things are happening for what purpose, Hustle?
So is it for us to say?
I'm asking you, what if we look at the way the universe is? You want to go back to the divinely or fine-tuned universe we live in,
Sure.
right? Just fine-tuned for life, right? Am I wrong on that? Is it fine-tuned for life or no?
No, but can I?
You wait. Wait, hold on. The universe is not fine-tuned for life? I'm asking you, is the universe fine-tuned for life? Yes or no?
I'll say yes because I know you have more to say.
No, don't just agree. If you say no, it's no.
It is, however, it's fine-tuned in more ways than just what we feel it works for.
But if you can't show me a tangible example of the other ways, that's just speculation.
Oh, I told you right now. So those IG models, they're making money. How they making it, right? It also lets you stand and feel proud of the way you move.
Wait, hold on. Hustle, I think you off topic. When we say IG models, we're talking about intergenerational trauma. We've modeled intergenerational trauma. IG models. That's the topic.
Okay, all right, brother. Well, I catch up with you there. So, even on that standpoint, right? That intergenerational trauma.
Wait, let me laugh for a second. Wait, hold on, Hustle. Hustle, like y'all ain't gonna be out here talking about these IG models. I follow several of them. They're beautiful. They got opportunities. They out here making money. I will not let you besmirch their good name. You will not speak on these IG models. I'm not talking about IG models, Hustle. Damn. No, the title's where it's supposed to be. If you was listening, you just jumped this album call zone. Let me just call the brother real quick. He said, hold on, I gotta push back, man. These models out here doing it. They moving to LA. You can't afford LA unless you're doing it. They out here doing it, Zoe. You will not besmirch their good name. Oh, that's genius. That's genius, Hustle. Hustle, you didn't understand the topic. Hustle, we in hour number 2. Oh, Lord. Hustle, hold tight when we come forward. We got a lot more to talk about with Hustle. He gonna pull it together. I know he got a jewel for me. Oh, shit. Oh, Hustle. God damn. I knew he was, and he came in, Hustle. You my nephew, brother. I love you, man. Hustle came in with smoke for Attila. Yeah, because the destination thing, I need to address that. Just way off topic, Hustle. Damn. Oh, shit. I made up my own topics. Hustle was responding and rebuffing people's shit. I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't the topic. Oh, that shit was great. That was great radio. Oh, shit. Oh. But Hustle, did you understand the topic? Let's get Hustle. Can we, people who have been listening, give us a line of what you think the topic is about. Just one line. Everybody give me one line of what you think I've covered in the last 82 minutes. Can y'all, Lord, Jeb herself? Yes. God damn. Hustle need help. Hustle came in to defend sex workers and models and porn stuff. You will not desecrate the good name of any of these half-naked, beautiful women. You will not do it. Oh. No, I'm dead ass. Call. Okay. He said, I knew the topic and he had me judge. I'm like, I should stop judging strippers. Oh, that shit is great. Nah, this shit was great.
What is learned helplessness? Let me just go ahead and give you a definition. I'll put it right up here for you as well. But learned helplessness is basically the idea that you have been discouraged so many times. You have been repeatedly discouraged in such a way, that, it's making it really hard for you to move forward. It's making it really, really hard for you to find purpose and meaning. And because of that, you've become discouraged. Every time you attempt to get ahead, something pushes you back, right? Every time you put a step forward or a foot forward to get somewhere better, you get pushed back. If that happens too many times and too repetitively, then you become very angry and depressed. You become anxious, and you say, you know what, what's the point in doing this? I'm giving this up because I'm not okay with this, okay? So that's learned helplessness. It's basically the process by which you become discouraged because every time you attempt something, you get pushed back, right? It's not working. So how do you get out of that? I'm going to post a video right up here for you guys where I talked about learned helplessness, and I'll post a video at the end of this video where you can go back and learn a little bit more about this topic, okay, and where the concept came from. But let's just go ahead and talk about how do you get out of that? How do you escape that, right? So the first step, and these are tips that I give my clients when they come in to see me. So the first step that I encourage you to take, right, when you're feeling like, you know, you can't get out of something and you feel like you've learned to kind of be helpless in your world, is to step back and try again. Step back and try again. I'm going to say it one more time. Step back and try it again. I think when you're pushing and you're pushing and you're...
Good stuff, man. The Voice of Reason is on complete fire. There is no other radio show like this in the world. Do you agree with me, Andy? Is somebody else on the radio doing this kind of stuff? I don't think so. I got a little short list of people I listen to. I listen to Dr. Shoshana Johnson's show. Right? She be having the couples on. They be playing these little games. They be revealing stuff. You know, Dr. Shoshana Johnson, her stuff be a little spicy. I be like, what in the habanero intimacy? Let's go. Then, of course, you know, Shalonda Crawford. I pop into her live all the time. You know, I got a little short list. But my brother Hustle was on the line. Hustle, Miami, Florida. Have you aligned your mind to the topic?
See, you cut me off too quick. I was going
No, listen, you can be an IG model advocate. It's okay. You can be the Ben Crump of IG models. I'm with you.
It's a metaphor, brother. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep up. Listen, when I was talking about the destinations, now the question is, who's choosing your destination?
Right.
Is it the intergenerational direction that you're taking? Is it the IG model wearing the makeup that you feel like you need to have? What I'm talking about is choices, brother.
Pull it together. Here we go. I see you. Come on with the rebound, Rodman. Come on.
What I'm saying is the wind's going to be blowing regardless. You got to have the winds blowing in a different direction because you have to know where you came from and where you're going. And if you don't see the hazards that are in the way, how are you going to get to where you want to go?
Oh, I like that. I like that. So you got to go back, find out what your origin was, your origin story, and then do what?
Well, now you understand where you need to go, north, west, east, or not.
So your origin, I see what you're saying. Your starting point is how you orient the different directions you can go in. Come on.
If you don't know the wings is like, I don't want to say it this way, but the wings is like home.
Exactly. That's what I just...
Right?
What you mean you don't want to say? I just said it for 2 hours.
That's too close. You understand? That's why you're trying to get away from it.
Okay. Attila wants to tap in real quick. Attila, jump in here. Go ahead, Attila. You got 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds before.
I got 30 seconds.
Because we up at the get, like, if you want to hold on. All right, this is what we're going to do. Y'all hold on. Y'all hold on. When I come forward, Attila wants to talk to Hustle. This is going to be beautiful. I love it when the callers interact with each other. This is amazing. When we come forward, clearly, we got a lot to talk about. Hey, Hustle Habit pulled that back, though. Hey, Hustle, that was a hell of a rebound, bro.
One more inning.
I see it.
Dodgers up. 1.
I'm Amber Payton reporting things you should know from the IN News. Clark Atlanta University is helping out workers looking into organized labor. A new nonprofit launched by the school is called Jobs with Justice. Labor unions and activists are partnering with Clark Atlanta to help out Black workers who are being disproportionately impacted in the labor force. Snoop Dogg is releasing his new album Missionary on December 13th. Produced by Dr. Dre, the album is billed as a sequel to Snoop's 1993 debut,
Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
The campaign will advertise on the Las Vegas Sphere. The advertising will coincide with Harris's rally in Sin City tomorrow. This will mark the first time a political campaign has advertised on the Sphere, a music and entertainment arena just east of the Vegas Strip. And officials are celebrating the opening of a new park in South Florida.
Clearly.
Black Mayor Brandon Scott joined city and community leaders Wednesday morning to officially cut the ribbon on Elijah's Park, which is a brand new state-of-the-art park honoring the late Congressman Elijah Cummings. Here's DIN News on demand 24/7 at DINnews.com.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor as another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year, and they're waiting for sponsor a child with
We good. We gonna be civil.
This is Jasmine Koenig, and I want to talk to you about one of the most important elections facing our community. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gaston is running for re-election, and he deserves our vote. In the 4 years he's been in office, he's put safety and fairness first, but also stood up against racism and injustice. He's exonerated over a dozen Black and Latino men wrongfully incarcerated for crimes they did not commit, and that's what we put him in office to do. Join Supervisor Harvey Mitchell, Congressman City Kamala Nadal, and vote to re-elect George Gaston for
Oh my God. Civil, violent, same thing. What in the world?
Tips to help improve basic steps for building a budget in 2024. Building a budget can help you achieve and reach your financial
What
goals.
is going on?
You can keep track of your spending, avoid and get out of debt, limit overspending, pay bills on time, and build solid savings habits. What's the best way to get started? Figure out how much to set aside for expenses like rent, mortgage, bills, groceries, and entertainment. Understanding your past financial habits can help you make the proper adjustments for your budget. Adjusting to a budget can take time as you work to
Hey, listen, I hope somebody went to my Cash App today. If you guys enjoyed tonight's conversation, if you enjoy the content, please go to my Cash App, $ so what netter, $ so what netter. Please support. Okay? Go to my Cash App, $ so what netter. Whatever you can give, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Yet, watch out for enrollment and marketing scams. Remember, Medicare will neither call you nor solicit your business. Guard your card. Never give out your Medicare number to strangers. Unsolicited calls, door-to-door visits, and emails are prohibited. Take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a quick decision. Report scams to our California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 58, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers.
What in the name of the side conversation hustle is going on in here now?
Free legal services for eligible tenants and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline.
Blame it on the Pinot. Oh my goodness. What in the feast of Sam Hain? Captain T, what up?
StayHousedLA.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA.
Ronella, thank you. Thank you. Hey, guess what, y'all? We're at $9.99. Me and my daughter, man, we going to the let me be quiet. I'll be talking too much. Let me shut the hell up. We going somewhere. That's it.
Live in a minute.
Thank you, Ronella. Schwank, gang, gang. Gang, gang. Yo, it's gonna be lit, bro. I'll probably hop on Instagram when I get there. When we get there, we gonna be turned up. It's gonna be lit. Oh, and by the way, you guys know I do personal coaching. A few of you have already tapped into that coaching. Listen, Man, if y'all want some personal coaching, just get at me. Get at me. Go to my website now. Go to my website, mrzowhat.com, and click coaching. Fill out the questionnaire. Isn't
Break the cycle of ego. The first is that awareness reduces the function of ego. Ego can only activate when we are not aware. And when we are 100% unaware, that is when we are the most egotistical. So if you think about someone who has narcissistic personality disorder, and you ask them, are you narcissistic? They will say, no, I am normal. So the size of the ego is inversely correlated with awareness of the ego. So all we need to do, so as this person is doing, just notice, oh wow, now that I succeeded in this, my ego is taking credit for it, right? That's what the ego does. The ego takes credit for your accomplishments. And it says, I did this. I am great because I accomplished something.
wow. Listen, all of these clips are highlighting the point. We've all got stuff to deal with that came from home. We have to break the cycle, the patterns, the routines. My first book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship, is predicated on the routines that were formed in childhood. And just like gymnastics, if you don't stick the landing, the score is off. But because you've been through stuff in your formative years, the pattern, the routine you're used to is broken, is disjointed, right? Has a broken rhythm. That's why I created the book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. And really, the book is about exiting the toxicity from within yourself that serves as a psychic magnet. That was 2015. We're going on 10 years since that book came out. It's still on Amazon if you want to go get it. Zoe Williams, The Relationship Dismount. But it's about routines, patterns. And many of us, we've integrated those patterns into our ego. Let me get my callers in here real quick. Hustle from Miami, Florida was on, and he was finishing up his thought. And then Attila from Houston, Texas wanted to respond. Go ahead, Hustle.
Oh, no. No, Attila was supposed to go first because she was all ready to go.
Okay, well then Attila could go first. I thought you said you were still cooking in the chat, but maybe you weren't talking to me. Okay, Attila, it's your turn.
Oh my God, the levels of petty style. I hate Gemini. I mean, I don't really have anything to respond to. I thought you were going to give me something to respond to, but the one thing I can say is that the areas of change in our relationship that we need to attend to the most are the ones that you avoid. So I don't really know what you want to do with that, whether that's your relationship with yourself or your relationship with someone else. My biggest thing with this show, and really anybody in the chat or whatever, is to understand that the work is internal. A lot of the things that we're saying and reflecting is like we're waiting on something external to come in and save you. There is no savior coming. That's my main point.
Oh,
So
I
I don't
like
know
that.
what you want to do with that.
What you want to do with that, Hustle?
It sounds like she in the room by herself punching the air. That's what it sounds like.
But did she? What did
I'm
you?
just a hater.
But I'm just saying, did you agree or disagree with what she said? Because what she said was solid.
It was solid on the surface. We have to factor in the external influences in the internal work, because we're talking about the weight of the burdens that are put upon us, the job, the task that is put before us. It is part of our purpose. We cannot only look within, we also have to get our reference from without.
So are you saying she's minimizing or marginalizing the external source of informational feedback? Is that what you're saying?
Don't be putting it up for him. Let him say it.
No. You said it right. Don't be mad because you're on the same vibration. So, when you avoid these things that are right in front of you, we end up not dealing with these things. So that's why we got to integrate these things. So that's the full picture.
So in a way, you both agree with one another. You just don't like each other. Like, because that's how y'all talk. Like, because in a way, you guys are saying the same thing, and I'm extrapolating meaning from both perspectives, and I just think there's a general lack of respect here. So let's flip that around and start showing a little bit more respect towards each other, even if we disagree on the surface. Like what she said had merit, but you decided to say it was superficially meaningful. And then you gave a point that really mirrored what she was talking about. She was basically saying, which many other people have said before that we've all agreed with, and that is nobody's coming to save you, because the work that must be done, you have to do it yourself. Now, juxtapose that to what you're saying. You're saying, but you can't marginalize the external, because that's where you're extrapolating this information about yourself from. Correct. Again, you both are right here. And if you guys would just kind of get out of the defensive posture and listen to each other without judgment, you'd probably see the value in what the two of you are saying, because it's literally connected. Does that make sense?
No.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with what he said. I agree. I'm not saying that there's no external work at all. I'm just saying that I think we tend to focus on the external. We scapegoat the work that we need to do internally because it's painful. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not disagreeing with you. You know what I'm saying?
She's not disagreeing with you, brother.
Well, you changed my words, bro.
Oh, what did I change?
You talking about, you said superficial, and I didn't say that.
No.
I added layers to it.
You said surface level. Oh, my bad. I used a synonym. My bad. My bad. I used a synonym. You said surface level, and I used superficial.
I mean, it's the same thing to me.
Right. It sounds like semantics, but I'm going to let it ride. Go ahead, brother.
Same thing, but okay.
It is not, because when you want to talk about surface, you're talking about levels. And now we're adding actual mathematics to it. We're not just talking about, you understand what I'm saying? We're not just talking about the density of it, right? But the point she made, yes, there is merit to it. However, it's almost like, when you make a comeback, you rally in and win the game, but you don't get all the points. You're a point short. She was just a point short, brother. That's all. I'm not saying that she ain't give up a good fight. I'm not saying she wasn't in the game. I was just saying, the ball hit off the rim. That's all I'm saying at the end.
What in the...
That sounds like word salad.
That's what that was.
But you know what? We're going to let you have it.
Come on.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, people scary. They do not want to look at themselves at the end of the day. And this is why you have no harmony outside of yourself.
Ooh.
And I'm saying this as someone who experiences it. I am not by any means trying to make anyone feel less or anything like that, because I am a work in progress just like anyone else. That's the only way I can speak to it. I only speak about things that I know about. So there is no surface level definition, because my definition is always internal.
Let me just say this. This is amazing. This is amazing. We're going to have Attila.
Oh, God.
and hustle. We're gonna have to create an Attila and hustle segment because in the name of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, they be saying the same thing. I swear to God, they be saying the same thing. And they be saying the same thing. I mean, you know, she just missed. She just 1 point short. This is off the rim. What? Like, boy, listen, you don't get to get right in here condescending. You know, she was cool. You know, it bounced off the rim, though. You know what I mean? It wasn't a swish. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that, hustle.
But what she just said was beautiful. You see how I had to invoke that out of her. You understand? That's my purpose.
Oh, this is that masculine man stuff. This is what we do. We invoke, girl. Learn how to see. Learn how to follow.
Let me tell you. Let me take you on a game hustle about feminine leadership. Yeah, we do not impose. We suggest, and people follow if they choose to. That's how feminine leadership works. I am not forcing anyone to do anything. People follow when they choose. That's how that works. You feel me?
First she said semantics, now she's doing oxymorons. All right, so let's go ahead.
Let me just say this. Hustle, guess what you just did? Dade County, man. Y'all better take that Dwayne Wade statue down there, man. Boy, looking crazy. Hey, Attila, I appreciate you for calling back in and exhibiting feminine leadership. We appreciate that. Hey, the voice of reason is on complete fire. Listen, when I come forward, Zoe Williams is going to have to wrap this thing up with some fire. Unless you want to call in, I got room, 1-800-920-1580. We still got a lot to talk about. Y'all, let me just say this. Hustle in particular. Hustle is trying his best to turn this shit into Dash Radio. I remember you, Hustle, on Dash Radio. You trying to make this Dash Radio now, huh? You don't like KBLA. You don't like the KBLA voice of reason. You want old Dash Radio back. I see you. He like, I want the Zoe from Dash Radio back. What? Oh, that shit. Comedy. Woo. Nah, it was literally a great job. You guys, that was amazing. That was amazing. I hope everybody will go. It's 39 people in here. If 39 people drop $5 on my Cash App, boom. We have a wonderful night, man. Please go support it. My Cash App is $Zoe what netter. $Zoe what netter. Go support. Best way you know how. Man, this was great. I love the interaction. It was great. What special topic should I do tomorrow? What topic should I cover tomorrow? It's Halloween. So what should I do?
Climate justice, climate resilience. By any other name, we demand environmental justice in 2024. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
Stay out of mama kitchen. I remember being told that shit, but I was hard-headed. I didn't give a fuck. I done got burnt. Stove done burnt the nigga on his arm. My mama was like, get your bad ass. Man, I miss my mama. Hustle. Top 2, and I'm not 2. Oh, here you go. Fucking Leo. Leo. Yeah, I know how to cook. I cook when I want to. Andy, the playlist has been amazing tonight. But you know what I think? I think it's missing something. What about She's Always in My Hair by Prince? Listen. This is one of those records, man, that takes us somewhere. And Prince, like Stevie Wonder, one of the greatest writers of lyrics. Whenever I feel like giving up, whenever my sunshine turns to rain, I mean, Prince was, She's Always in My Hair. Prince is different, man. One of the greatest artists we've ever seen. Whenever my sunshine turns to rain. Hopes and dreams are aimed in the wrong direction. She's always there, telling me how much she cares. That's a good parent. Maybe we should do the attachment styles put to music tomorrow. We'll play some fearful avoidant music. We'll play some dismissive avoidant music. We'll play some anxious most of it is anxious preoccupied. My God. Anyway, let me just do this. Let's just wrap it. IG models, intergenerational curses. We model, right, all of the stuff that's been handed down, right? And it's important to your spiritual maturity, not your chronological maturity. It is important for you to conquer the behaviors, the thought process, the belief of whatever dysfunction you were raised in. And as Joseph Campbell so famously said about the hero's journey, the journey of the hero is about the courage to seek the depths, the image of creative rebirth, the eternal cycle of change within us, the uncanny, that the seeker is the mystery which the seeker seeks to know. What he's saying is, just like Krishnamurti said in his famous speech, truth is a pathless land. The path was laid for you, but it was mislaid because you weren't dealing with perfect people. They're saying you need the courage to seek the depths. The depths always deal with water. Water deals with unconscious, the subconscious. That's Carl Jung. You have to have the courage. The journey of the hero is about the courage to seek the depths. It is the image of creative rebirth. That means when I go back to my norm, although I am welcomed as the same, I'm not the same. Why? Because I've transformed. I've even died. You say, well, you've died? Well, that's the hero's journey. In every one of these Star Wars, Spider-Man, Batman, there is a moment where people die, where the hero looks like he's dead. You remember Black Panther fought Killmonger? There was a moment where it looked like he died. But there's a rebirth, which is the return. That's all. If you look up the hero's journey, that's what it is. When he confronted Killmonger and said, I never yielded. And as you can see, I am not dead. He said, hey, cousin, all that tournament stuff is over with. Do you see? But this is Joseph Campbell's work, right? And everyone else patterned the hero's journey off of this. In my Shrouded Lighthouse book, I called it the relationship journey. You start the journey in the beginning, your ordinary, your home. You throw in Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti calls that the known, right? Joseph Campbell calls it ordinary. This is your origin point, your ordinary. Krishnamurti calls it your known, that which you know. Along that journey, You got to do some things. There's a call to adventure. I got to get out of here. This town is too small. My parents' belief system is too small. They're too controlling. I got to get out of here. The call, right? Sometimes the call is a job. Sometimes the call is college. Sometimes the call is a relationship, right? Then you get some kind of supernatural aid, you know? Usually that comes in the form of prayer. I was praying for it and the situation happened and boom, right? There is a threshold just outside of your ordinary. You remember in the movie Lord of the Rings when Samwise Gamgee stopped and told Frodo, hey, Frodo, you know, Mr. Frodo, this is the furthest away I've ever been from the Shire if I take one more step. There's the threshold and the Guardians. I've never been this far away from home once I take this one more step, right? Then along the way, you find the helper and the mentor. Oh, when Frodo and the gang left the Shire, they met up with who? You guys remember? The Ranger. Because remember, Gandalf was supposed to meet them, but Gandalf was held. These stories are all there. And then they meet more helpers along the way, right? Then they meet with the fellowship of the ring, the helpers, challenges and temptations on this journey. This is your journey of life. Then guess what? You finally hit the abyss. Hey, you know, Boromir, Frodo, is going to try to steal the ring. He's poisoned by the power of the ring. So now the fellowship has to break apart. Look at this, the abyss, death and rebirth. Many times you'll see the hero in a story get close to death. This death is about the death of who you thought you were based on where you came from. Psychology is, they're using psychology to write these stories. And then once there is a rebirth, there is a transformation. Then there is atonement. Then there is the return back to your normal. But when Luke came back as a fully realized Jedi. He wasn't the same little farmer boy that left. Life will prune you. Life will hurt you. Life will raise you up. But you got to be willing to break up with what originally formed you. Listen, I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. Congratulations to the Dodgers, World Series champions, LA in the building. Hey, we up on that. Anyway, love y'all. See y'all tomorrow with another slapper. Deuces. We are the champions, my friend. And we'll keep on fighting till the end. Gang, gang, gang. We are the champions. LA up. Oh, I'm trying to leave so damn fast. Let me close out my email account. Jeez. Oh man, what am I doing? I'm tripping. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Appreciate everybody for calling. None but love. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. Andy, once again. West. West. I told you when you said we was up.
Yeah.
I said, oh, we won this.
They came back 7-6.
West.
Man, you be safe out there on the streets, man.
Hey man, I'm finna get it. Hey, you already know what I'm finna do. I'm finna get out the way for sure. West, LA finna turn up. Let me get back to the crib. You hear the fire? It's already going. Let me get back to the crib. Oh, I'm in the hood too? Yeah, it's finna go up. Let me get the hell up out of here. Hey, y'all, I'm gonna call.